What's up, guys? Welcome back to the LOM podcast. This is actually today's episode for the people on YouTube. Apple Podcasts and Spotify are coming soon, but until then, enjoy this episode. Peace. Hello, guys. Fuck! Dude, why does all my intros suck? Oh my gosh. I really gotta figure out something. You know, I need like a jingle to play just to make sure that I never have to do a cringy intro again. God damn it. I never know how to start these things. I was legit just sitting here for 10 seconds trying to figure out what to say to start the episode, and I come up with one of the worst ideas ever to start the podcast. But you know, that's the type of shit you get when you listen to this podcast. You get just absolute cringe. So, I'm here. It's a beautiful morning. I got my nice cup of joe here, just to prove it to you. Oh shit. Fuck, that's hot, man. I did not think that through when I decided to do that. Shit, man. It is good though. I got my coffee in a nice mug. It's got like the M&M dude on it. Not the red guy. I have the blue guy. When I was younger, I used to really fuck with M&Ms. Like, well, I mean, I still do. Okay. I still like it. I still eat M&Ms every once in a while. But I used to be really into it when I was a kid. Like, I fucked heavily with the blue M&M. Like, me and my family, we actually assigned certain M&Ms to ourselves. And I was the blue M&M. Because I was like, that dude's pretty fucking chill. So yeah, I got this mug. So he's on it, and then he's on it again, but he has an alto sax, which I play the alto sax, or I used to. So yeah, my boss actually gave this to me after my first year working at the company, because he had a bunch of mugs in the break room, and that was the one I used all the time, because I was like, bro, this is literally me, man. Blue M&M with an alto sax, that's me. So yeah, then after my first year, my boss is like, hey, if you want that mug, you can keep it. And I was like, that's lit. That's like one of my favorite mugs. I love mugs. I fuck with mugs heavily. But I don't just get like any mug. You know? It's not like I just see a mug and I'm like, I have to buy that mug. Like, it has to be a cool mug. You know? Like, when you go to those shops, if you go across the country, like on a road trip or whatever, and you stop in a new state, and you go to one of those rest stops, and they got a mug in there that says, "Welcome to Georgia," or some shit like that. Like, no, I don't. That's not the type of mug I go with. Okay, I'm not about that touristy mug type. You know, I like mugs that are unique and lit. Though I say that, though, I just realized another mug I have is literally the most touristy mug ever. It's a Ron John's mug, and it's got this nice tropical design to it, and it has my fucking name on it. How could you get more touristy than that? Having your name on a mug? Dude. But hey, it's a good looking mug, because, you know, I like that cruise, tropical, beachy look to it. So I was like, it's just an added bonus that it has my fucking name on it. But yeah, I have a bunch of mugs. I'm actually looking into getting a new mug, because I just found this new mug. It's just like a plain white mug, and it just says "fuck off" on it. And I need that mug. So if anyone comes up to me in the morning, I can just show them the mug. I'm like, hey, fuck off, dude. I don't want to deal with your bullshit this morning, okay? Let me drink my coffee in peace. God damn it, I'm talking about coffee again. I was listening to the last episode and I was thinking, I talked about coffee way too long. And now here I am starting the episode yet again talking about coffee. I got a list of things I want to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is hair. More specifically, hair on your head. Okay. I don't know what you were thinking. Okay. But I'm talking about the hair on your head. You know, your top. You know what I mean? But anyways, like, I have long hair now. You know, and it kind of gets annoying. Because, you know, it takes too much to manage. You know? It just goes everywhere. And it takes forever to dry. And it's not a good experience for me. Which, if I'm being honest, I don't even know why I really grew out my hair, because I didn't fuck with long hair in the first place. On dudes. Girls with long hair, keep doing what you're doing, okay? Fantastic. Fucking love that. But dudes with long hair, I can't get behind. I don't think it looks good. And it's mainly because of the styles that dudes always put their hair in when they have long hair. Like, usually when they grow out their hair, it's just straight out, you know, just long. And it's like, do something with it, you know? All you do is, you did nothing. You just grew it out. It's just, your hair is just hanging down. Like, style it. Do something with it, man. And then the dudes that do style it, they get like a freaking man bun. Which I don't understand man buns. Okay? I don't think they look good at all. Okay? No offense to any dudes out there with man buns, but it looks bad. Because, dude, they put a little man bun. It's like right at the back of their head, like the top. And it looks like they got a little, like, nipple sticking out, sticking out of their head. Like, what? Why? The worst type of man bun are the dudes that grow out the top of their head, like really long, and then they buzz all the sides and the back. Then they just have a little man bun right at the back. It's like, why did you grow out the top of your head super long if you were just gonna basically make it short again? By pulling it back into a man bun, you just made it short again. You're not getting any benefits of having long hair by doing that. And then some man buns are worse than others. Like ones where the dude's hair isn't long enough to fold in and to make a bun. So it's just like a tiny little ponytail. Like they got a little paintbrush sticking out of their head. Like, dude, come on. How do you wake up in the morning, put your hair in a man bun, and think, yeah, I like this. This looks good. I'm ripping way too much into man buns. No offense to any dude who has a man bun. That's not, I don't like it. In my opinion, I don't think it looks good. So, you know, for the longest time, one of my friends, she's been, you know, haggling me to grow out my hair long. You know, and I never really wanted to because, like I just said, I don't really like long hair. And also, when you grow out your hair, especially when you go from a short hairstyle and you want to grow it out long, you have this awkward phase of like 6 to 8 months where your hair just looks god awful because your hair is too long to do what you usually did to your hair when it was short, but it's too short to do what you want to do with it, you know? So you just have this awkward phase where you're trying to make your hair look as good as possible, and you're just waiting for that first haircut to just shape everything the way you want it to. And I could never make it past that phase. I always thought about growing my hair, and every time I tried it, I get like a month into that awkward phase, and I'm like, nope, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't go around with my hair looking like this. And so I would just cut it. But then, you know, when lockdown hit last year back in March, I was like, you know, I've been growing on my hair for a while now. You know, it's been a few months since I had my last haircut. And I was like, and I'm basically going to be inside for a long time, why don't I just grow it out? You know, because no one's going to see my god-awful hair when it's in that awkward phase, because everyone's in lockdown. So I grew out my hair, and now it's long. But now, I didn't style it the way that other dudes style their hair. Like, I didn't just grow it straight out, and that's it. And I definitely didn't do a man bun, okay? Because fuck man buns. No, I always thought, also another reason why I never grew out my hair was because I never knew what I wanted to do with it. I was like, what looks good? Because I look at other dudes that grow out their hair, and I was like, that all looked horrible. But then when I saw Stranger Things, you know, Joe Keery with his amazing hair, I was like, okay, if I ever grow out my hair, if I ever make it past the awkward phase, that's how I'm styling my hair. Because, dude, Joe Keery's hair is like amazing. I envy him. But I grew out my hair, and now I do it sort of like him. And I fuck with it now. Other than the fact that it just takes a lot to maintain, I fuck with it. You know, every once in a while I think when I'm doing my hair and it gets really annoying because it just takes so much to maintain, I think, you know, I should just cut my hair. You know, just go back to it being short. But then I look in the mirror and I see it, and I'm like, dude, I'm looking fresh as fuck. And then I don't want to cut it. Because I look good. Fucking glowing, man. But yeah, so now I got long hair, and I'm still debating whether or not cutting my hair or not. Because I've had long hair for about a year now, and yeah, it looks good, but I'm also kind of over it now. I kind of just want to go back to short hair because I preferred having shorter hair. But, you know, at the same time, I think if I ever want to grow out my hair again in the future, I'm going to have to go through that whole awkward phase again. And I'm just not going to be able to make it. You know, and I'm never going to get back to this point if I cut my hair again. So, I mean, I don't really know. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, but maybe give your opinion, you know? Do you think shorter hair is better, or do you think longer hair is better? You know, and if I get enough of one side, I'll pick that side. Even though you don't really know what I look like with long hair. But I'll post something. I'll post something with longer hair, and I'll be like, hey, let me know. Short or long? And if a lot of people say short, I'll cut my hair again. That's a nice cup of Joe. Okay, don't go back talking about coffee, okay? But yeah, so it was Joe Keery, it was Stranger Things that finally made me grow out my hair. Because I love Stranger Things. I think Stranger Things is probably my favorite TV show at the moment. You know? I love it. Because I love 80s aesthetic. You know what I mean? I just fuck with it. I don't know why. I just think it looks good. You know, because like nowadays, like, is there really an aesthetic for like the 2010s? Like what even is the aesthetic for 2010? There's nothing. I can't even like think of a general theme, but you think about the 80s and you got that whole like neon look, you know? Arcade games and shit. Yeah, so the 80s got an aesthetic, but like we we don't have anything. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people didn't like season 2 of Stranger Things, which I don't get, because I love season 2. Like, I have a hard time deciding whether or not season 1 or season 2 is my favorite season. Because I love season 1 just because it's the first season. And it was just, I thought it was great. And I thought season 2 was a great extension onto the first season. I didn't really fuck with season 3. because it just was I don't know, it had like a different tone to it, which I didn't really vibe with a whole lot. It kind of just seemed like it seemed like it just went past the bounds of believability, which I know we're talking about a show about interdimensional beings and all that shit. But like the whole idea of, Russians coming over into Hawkins and building this huge laboratory like thousands of feet below a mall. I don't know, just like, I don't know, I don't really think that could have happened. I have a hard time believing something like that. So, I mean, but season 3 was good, don't get me wrong. I like season 3. But in comparison to season 1 and season 2, I prefer the first 2 seasons over the third one. And, season 4 is coming out at some point. I don't know when. But obviously it's going to be a continuation onto season 3, so it's going to carry the same tone. Which, I hope season 4 is good. Because also, I don't want Stranger Things to go on for multiple seasons when it totally should have ended earlier. You know what I mean? Kind of like what happened with The Office. After a certain point, yeah, the seasons were kind of good, but it probably should have ended earlier, And I just don't want that to happen to Stranger Things, because I just want it to be the story that the writers wanted, and then just have it be that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see when season 4 comes out. I hope it's good. I mean, that's all we could really ask for. But something else I want to talk about is I went to a drag race yesterday. Talking about cars. Okay, car drag racing, like Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock, all that shit. And I've been to a NASCAR race before, and I'll get into my experience with that after I talk about this. But before we went to the drag race, because I went with my father, because he loves racing, I kind of thought it was going to be the same crowd as NASCAR, which if you've ever been to a NASCAR race, you'll know those people are freaks, okay? So I thought the drag race was going to be similar to NASCAR because, it's all in the racing field, but it actually wasn't a whole lot. Okay, there were still freaks there, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as bad as NASCAR. But it was lit at the drag race, because I fuck with cars, so they had a bunch of different cars out there other than the ones that were actually racing. They had like show cars with people who built hot rods or stuff like that. They brought their cars in to show off to people, and that was pretty cool. There was an old Camaro there, which I love old Camaros. I just think they look a lot better than the modern Camaros. But yeah, there was a lot of cool shit there. There was some, like I said, there were some freaks there. So there was dudes who were walking around without a shirt on, and they should not have done that. And holy shit, dude, they smoke a shit ton. Like, almost everyone at that race was smoking cigarettes. I haven't seen that many people smoking in years. Okay? Because, like, normally, like, nowadays, you don't really see a whole lot of people smoking cigarettes. At most, you'll see people vaping. Because that's the new in thing to do. But, you don't really see people smoking cigarettes. But at that race, dude, almost everyone was smoking. And it was disgusting. I hate the smell of cigarette smoke. So that was just gross. But other than that, the race was crazy. These cars were doing a quarter mile in like 3 seconds, which is insane. Going like 300 miles an hour. Like the rumble of the engines were vibrating so much that like the stands that we were sitting on was shaking, and you can like feel your body shaking. It was insane. I mean, I definitely would love to go back to one of those races, you know, but it's kind of the people there that kind of make me not want to go to races anymore, because like I said, they're just freaks. They're weird. Because, you know, I'll get into NASCAR. My first and only time going to a NASCAR race was at Talladega, which was in Alabama, which I guess you could probably guess where the story is going with the freaks there. But anyway, so I went to a NASCAR race. My first experience with, you know, people other than my father who are fans of NASCAR, and my father is not one of these freaks. So I'm going to this race thinking everyone's going to be like me and my father, you know, just like normal. But I was so wrong. Dude, they're like, the people at NASCAR races are just, they're like white trash, man. No offense, but most people there are just like white trash. They're rednecks, and it's just really weird and somewhat off-putting, I would say. One of the most annoying thing going to a NASCAR race, and I'm pretty sure it was just because it was in Alabama, was they're playing music throughout, you know, the outside area outside the track, where they have some like vendors and stuff like that. They're pumping music in there as you're walking around getting ready for the race, and almost every other song was Sweet Home Alabama. I swear I heard that song like a million times, just waiting for the race to start. Then when you got into the stadium, they started playing it again. It's like, I get it, we're in Alabama, you're proud of your state, but I mean, I can only listen to this song once, if that, you know, and they're just playing it on loop. And these people are going nuts over it. Like, every time, like, once that guitar starts playing, dude, everyone started going crazy. And I'm like, dude, we just heard this song. Man. Once we got into the stadium, though, we're sitting in our seats, and they're playing Sweet Home Alabama, and these two massive, like, muscular dudes, redneck dudes, come and they sit in front of us, right? And they're jamming to Sweet Home Alabama. And, you know, I'm just like, hey, they like their music, whatever, right? Then after that, after Sweet Home Alabama, they started playing Stir Fry, you know, because this is back when Stir Fry was popular by Migos. And so they started playing it, and I started kind of like jamming to it. It was like, yo, I fuck with this music, not Sweet Home Alabama. And right when the song starts, the two redneck dudes just like stop, and they kind of look at each other, and they're like, what the fuck is this shit playing? Dude, I was so scared for my life. I was like, yo, if they see me jamming out to this, they're gonna fucking beat me up. Cause they're like, how could anyone like this shit? This is shit, dude. This is fucking shit. And I'm like, dude, we listened to Sweet Home Alabama a million times. Come on, you can deal with Stir Fry for 3 minutes. But I mean, after the race, when the race was coming to a close, me and my father kind of left our seats early and kind of went right at the exit so we could still watch the race, but we wanted to be one of the first people out because, I mean, there's a shit ton of people who go to races. Okay, so, like, even more than football games. It's probably like double or triple the amount, okay? So we wanted to get out before the crowds got in their cars and started, you know, jamming up the exit. Like, we wanted to get out of there as soon as the race ended. And so we're standing towards the exit, and sort of in front of us are these guys who are extremely drunk. You could totally tell. One dude was turned around, sort of facing us, not even looking at the track, and he was going wild, like cheering on his driver, whoever it was. I can't remember who it was. But he's like screaming and he's yelling, and I'm like, dude, the race is behind you. What are you doing looking over here? There's nothing going on back here. And his two buddies on either side of him were like, you know, cheering for their driver as well, going crazy and all that stuff. And one of the dudes obviously drank too much because he just like turns around behind a seat and just starts throwing up right there. Which is, I hate throw up. I hate the sound of it. I hate seeing it. Like, it makes me want to throw up. I cannot stand that sound at all. And so, like, I'm trying not to look, but it was so funny because the other dude who was turned around facing us, and then the guy who was actually facing the race, they both noticed that their friend was throwing up, and they started watching him and cheering him on. Both of them weren't even watching the race at that point. They're just cheering on their friend who's just throwing up. And I'm like, what? You came to a race and now you're cheering on your friend who's throwing up. And then this was like the first floor of the bleachers. Then there was the second floor of the bleachers right above us. And this dude just starts spilling his beer down from the second balcony over onto our floor. And I'm like, what the hell? And then when we finally were able to leave, I turn around and I kid you not, there's two rednecks standing behind us. Okay? And they've got those like, I guess like cowboy flannel shirts. You know what I mean? Like the type of flannel shirts that farmers wear or something. They've got maybe two buttons buttoned at the very bottom. Okay, they have the sleeves ripped off. Then they had jean shorts on. And then they had cowboy boots on, but they cut the toe part off. So they're wearing cowboy boots with just their toe sticking out of the front of the boot. And I'm like, what? They both got cowboy hats on and they're holding beers. And I'm like, how? Why? Why? Why did you think this was a good idea? You looked at your ticket, you're like, okay, it's race day. Let's put on the most uncomfortable outfit ever. Just to maximize the awkwardness. Make people as uncomfortable as possible. And that's literally what they did, man. I was extremely uncomfortable looking at these guys. I was like, and they weren't young guys either. These were like older dudes. And I was like, this is not a good look. And a lot of people who go to those races are pretty much exactly like these three experiences that I had. You know? That's why, you know, I kind of prefer just if I just want to watch a race, which I don't usually watch NASCAR. I'm not a huge NASCAR fan, but I'll watch it sometimes. I'd rather just watch it on TV so I don't have to see or have to interact with the crowd that goes to these races because it's just really awkward. I mean, it's fun going to races, you know, because you get to hear the engines. You can go up and see the cars and all that stuff. You can also watch the crew members working on all the cars. So if you're into car shit, that's really cool. Because you're like, yeah, I know engine shit. That's badass, you know? But other than that, like the people who go there, no, I can't really deal with that. But don't get me wrong, if you have the chance to go to a NASCAR race, if you're going with normal people, I recommend going to a NASCAR race or a drag race. Because, I mean, they are fun, they're cool, they're interesting. Don't make the people the reason that you don't go. Because, yeah, they're freaks, but just ignore them. Because they won't interact with you if you don't interact with them. So, I mean, that's perfectly fine. It's just a fun experience just to see them and kind of go like, haha, that dude looks weird as fuck. But yeah, so, I mean, drag race was cool. I definitely would love to go back. But the problem is I got really sunburnt because I didn't put on any sunscreen. Like an idiot, dude. I should have put on sunscreen. It was up in Gainesville, and I don't know why, but I just kind of thought since it was north, it was going to be cold or cooler, and so I wouldn't need sunscreen, but I was very wrong. Because I got really sunburnt. Like all over my face and shit. Which I didn't really realize it during the race, so that didn't really hinder me, but, you know, I feel it now. I feel it today. But it's fine, it's not that bad. I just got sunburn everywhere. No, the worst part is behind my leg. I got sunburnt on the back of my legs. And that's the worst because, you know, whenever you sit down or even when you're just walking, you feel the sunburn. Because, you know, you're messing with the area that's sunburned. Because it's right behind your knee. It's the back of your leg. So that's just the worst part. But, I mean, other than that, I'm perfectly fine. I was wearing a long sleeve shirt, so I didn't get any sunburn on my arms. Which I would prefer getting sunburn on my legs versus on my arms. You know? That's just me. If I had to get sunburnt, I'd rather it be on my legs than on my arms. But, yeah. I guess that's kind of it. I don't really know what else to talk about. Because I'm also trying to make these shorter episodes. But, you know, I look forward to this shit now. Doing podcasts. I don't know if it's just because I started it, but I also listen to a lot of podcasts now. I don't know why. But I just fuck with them, man. This is like a whole new world to me. Podcasting. I mean, I've listened to podcasts before, but I didn't really listen to them a whole lot. I just listened to some like highlights of podcasts. But now I listen to podcasts all the time. I mainly listen to my own podcast. Because it's funny, dude. I make myself laugh. I'm so vain, dude. I'm so vain. But I fuck with my podcast. My podcast is probably my favorite podcast. If I had to have a favorite, it'd be my own. It'd be Lion on Main. God damn it, dude. But yeah, I get excited to do these podcasts because I'm just excited to listen to it later. It's like, yes, new content. Yes, my favorite creator is coming out with a new episode. Just waiting for me to post on my own story that a new episode comes out. Yes, finally, I can finally listen to this new episode. Yeah, but also, I kind of don't like... I don't like when people post on their stories that they made a new Instagram post. Like, I don't get that. Because if I'm following you, then I see your story, and you tell me that you made a new post, I'm going to see it anyways, because I'm already following you. So why do you have to tell me to see your new posts? I don't get it. They'll take like a screenshot of their profile, and then they'll scribble out their most recent post and like, new post. Guys, check out my new post. Like my post. God, I don't understand it. Because, like I said, I already follow you. So your post is gonna come up on my timeline anyways. I'm gonna see it. Oh, it just makes me so mad. It makes me, like, when I see them post on their story, new post, it makes me just want to go back and unlike their post. Man, I'm being way too hard on this. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I don't really mind. Like, if you post on your story, like, new posts, whatever. Because, you know, I'm a huge hypocrite. Because I'm complaining about other people saying, new post, when literally every time I come out with a new episode, I put on my story, check out my new episode. But then again, that's also different, because I'm posting on Instagram telling you that I posted something on YouTube, you know? And these people are saying on their story, they're posting on Instagram about their new post on Instagram. It's like you just made a new post about your new post. I don't get it. Like, does that actually work? Does that get you more likes? I've never tried that. I've never done a comparison. Whereas, me posting a regular photo and not saying anything, how many likes I get versus putting on my story that I made a new post, seeing how many likes I get. But also at the same time, I don't really give a shit. Like, I just post pictures that I think look good. And if you like it, lit. Like the photo. But yeah, I don't get it. I mean, who knows? Maybe it does get them more likes. Or maybe it boosts their ego. I don't know. But I don't get it. Because you're posting on Instagram about your new posts on Instagram. It's just... whatever. Never mind. But yeah, check out my new posts on Instagram. I'm just kidding. New post. Hey guys, check out my new post. Just made a new post. Also, I hate the word post. Well, I mean, that's literally what it is. It's just a post. I mean, you wouldn't say new content. Who knows? Maybe somebody does, okay? Maybe somebody does check out my new content when they post a photo on Instagram. But, yeah, anyway, I'm being too hard on this whole thing. Okay, it doesn't bother me that much, okay? I don't really care. If you post on your story, who cares, okay? Do what you want to do. Because, I mean, you gotta promote, If you want to promote, you gotta promote. You gotta promote somehow. So, I mean, yeah, might as well just post on your story. Promote your own post. I mean, fuck giving Instagram money and having them do a sponsored post on other people's timelines. Because I hate sponsored content on my timeline. So, I also kind of feel like doing that would probably get people more mad at you. Because they're like, I don't follow you. Get your posts off my timeline. I mean, that's how I am. When I see it, it's just like, oh, fuck off. But, people gotta make money, I guess. People gotta promote. I don't really know what else to talk about. We're kind of at the end of the podcast now. I kind of fuck with this podcast. I can't wait to listen to it. Well, by the way, I'm still working on Spotify and iTunes. I'm trying to get my podcast on there. You have to send one of your episodes or like a trailer of your podcast to them and have them listen to it and get it approved before you can actually start posting on it. So it just takes a long time for them to do that. But as soon as it's up, I'll let you guys know. Because I don't really like listening to my podcast on YouTube because most people don't have YouTube Premium. So, if you're listening to the podcast on YouTube, you can't really exit YouTube and continue listening to it the way you can with like iTunes or Spotify. So I'm trying to get Spotify and iTunes as soon as possible just to make it easier for most people who don't have YouTube Premium. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on that shit. But yeah, that's basically it for this episode. So I'll catch you guys next week in the next episode. Peace.